Right.
9:30. We've
I'm
not even
sorry.
started.
Okay.
It's not even started, Mark, and it's
I've got
9:30.
Okay, here we go.
To watch who?
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
I'm a Doctor Who fan.
I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
And here we are. We're hanging out in Splo today. Over in Cardiff for our Torchwood watch through. Episode 3 today. We've just had a bit of a warm-up on our Gallifrey gossip
A very
episode.
long warm-up.
Yeah.
A very long warm-up.
Chatting.
We need to shorten those, Mark. They were supposed to be 10, 15 minutes.
I know, yeah. We have been chatting for a little while, haven't we? What? We're catching up. Anyway, it's a Ghost Machine this week. But before I start, we've got to open that Torchwood file. I know, but it's a really important Torchwood file. It's the Ross Files, part 2, everybody.
Has he responded?
I've not emailed him yet.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh my God.
No, I'm building up to it. We need to read the emails from him first.
Oh my God.
I found a few more. So here we go, everyone. I know you've all been waiting for this. Guess what? Ross says, I'm back and I had a great holiday. It was hot and it had sandy beaches. Anyway, enough bragging about how we meet up. Oh, anyway, hang on. Anyway, enough.
All right, you're meeting up on sandy beaches, are you, Mark?
No, because he was on holiday, remember, last time.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough bragging about how we meet. Hang on, this is Ross's writing this weird email here. Anyway,
you're meeting up on a sandy beach, Mark.
It says, anyway, enough bragging. How about we meet up and sort out the script? If you have any free time, let me know. I work Monday to Friday, 9 till 5:30. Please get back to me soon. See you, mate, Ross. So I can't always see what I'm saying back to him, which is really annoying. So he sent that from holiday, and then he's put, hey, Mark, how are you? I am really tired as it is stressful at work. I have never been so tired, but I have got to get the sleep I need anyway. I don't know whether to come over on Wednesday. I think I'm helping my dad with the car. Not sure, but we'll keep you posted. I take it you've got your laptop back then. Don't know what happened there. I don't know what I've said. That's cool because I was thinking about making a film rather than a sitcom. But if you want to, then do it. The film could be time traveling and we see ourselves in the future getting killed, etc. I think it would be quite cool, but if you have something else, then let me know. I hope to hear from you soon. I'm going to cut a long story short here because there's so many different emails. He's saying, I think I'm inviting him to like my birthday or something. And then he's saying he's not sure because he's not going to know anybody.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, oh yeah, how many people have you invited? I don't want to be the odd one out. It goes on and he's talking about meeting up, blah, 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 blah. This is like 2003. And then the last email. Okay, so he sends me a couple of emails and I don't reply. And he's like, how are you? Why, I haven't heard from you for ages, which I feel really bad about now. And then the last email, he's saying, nice to hear from you. He's been quite busy and he sleeps a lot at the weekends. Knackered on Monday. See you soon. And then I don't seem to reply after December 2003 for some reason. But then it was a weird time because then I had I was working at the co-op, had my co-op friends and my school friends and stuff. And then it. That is it. So it's sort of finished with me not replying to him. So I will email now and see if there is anything. But there we go. There's the Ross Files for you, everyone.
Ross Files done. And
let's see if you reply. What should I say though? Hi, does this email still work?
Yeah, I think you. Well, hi, Ross. Hope you're well. Long time no hear.
Long time. It's been over 25 years ago that email was sent. 25 years.
Hi, Ross. Thought I'd just get back to your email. Sorry, I'm late. I'll think about it.
So I just want to say, you still got mine for different VHS.
Hey, you got that VHS, though? Yeah, you're not getting a reply from that.
Anyway, I will keep everyone updated. So there we go. Ross files are still ongoing. Right, okay. We better get on.
Yes, we do need to get on.
So it's the ghost machine, everyone.
You saw the echo of a moment amplified by alien technology.
A ghost.
Maybe 40, 45 years ago.
I saw it happen.
You need to know how to use these.
Lizzie.
I've seen things you wouldn't believe.
Lizzie.
Owen had the knife.
Get out!
So we start off, we've got Gwen. She's now a full Torchwood member. You see sort of like day to day, we're right in there, aren't we? Running around Cardiff.
Oh, she's in it.
And all the team are like helping out and stuff. And they're right, we sort of join them in the middle of this chase down some of the, what they call the arcades.
You see everything. You see all of Cardiff in this bit.
You see everywhere. And it stops outside the Cardiff station, but out the back.
Yeah, which that bit, there's a bit of it that doesn't exist anymore.
I was going to say, it's been redone since then, so it doesn't really look exactly the same. But you can still, the entrance is still the entrance bit, isn't it? You know, as you come out, where the little kid comes out of, that is the
entrance. That's not there.
That is the side bit, is there. That's the only bit that is there. It's all glass doors now, but it's there, isn't it?
Sort of.
Yeah, anyway, she definitely runs down that side bit around Cardiff Station. And it's weird because when I first came to Cardiff and got out the station, I got out the back there and looked out and I was like, oh, is this Cardiff? And I was looking like out the back.
At the car park.
At the car park. I was like, oh, this is a bit strange. You don't realise, though, what is actually happening. So she's chasing somebody and he's got like some alien tech. That's why they're after him.
You think it's him? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not. So he gets away and Gwen manages to get this thing. And this is where straight away we're into like weird sci-fi stuff where she presses this thing and we get this like little kid from like the war, don't we, coming in. So yeah, it's a different kind of tone than last week.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's definitely a good story. Oh, sorry, just to mention last week, I forgot, I still can't find a picture of Pump and Hump. Cannot find a picture of it, but there is a website. There are things that are like pheromone. You can buy like pheromone oils and shampoos and stuff. It is a thing, but the actual Pump and Hump I cannot find. Okay, well, tell me what you're thinking when you're watching this then. How you're finding it.
Well, again, this follows a very similar Russell T Davies format for me.
Well, what way?
So the first episode introduces a character, right? It's a very character one. The second episode, we have real futuristic idea.
Okay.
And then the third one, we go in the past.
Okay.
And we've got ghosts.
I see what
It's a very Russell T Davies formula.
It's that structure. Yeah, I didn't really think of it like that.
It's a very RTD structure. It might be, in its own way, but it is that formula. We've gone in the past.
Yeah. And it's a clever thing.
But it does, in a Torchwood way, we've gone in the past.
And this is the thing about Torchwood, which is great. You can get like these weird things that do whatever because you can just say, oh, it fell through the rift. It's just arrived here. You can have anything now.
Well, what I quite liked is it's never explained why it's there. We don't know how it's got there. We don't know why it's there. And nothing's ever resolved with that.
No, but that's not really the point of the story, is it? It's more the human's investigative side, which I really like, because then Gwen has that connection with the kid, and so she follows that up, I like how they're like got this tech to find him, and then Owen's just like, oh yeah, he's in the phone book, and they go and visit him. So she finds the kid as an old man and goes around the house, and actually the old man is played by someone who's been in Doctor Who, which here we go. Peter Davison's last story. It's going back a bit. There was that guy who was in the office and he kept like looking to the camera and he was like the baddie, and I think he pushed the president off the lift shaft and no.
Hang on, Peter Davidson's last story.
Caves of Androzani, Perry, the Bat's Milk, She got Spectrox Toxemia, Sharash Jack, Phantom of the Opera, and Perry.
Oh God, I don't remember that at all.
No, it's fine.
No.
No, anyway, he's in that story.
You were like the president, and I was like, no recollection of this story at all.
I can't think of what else. I thought Phantom of the Opera. He was looking after Perry. He was obsessed with Perry. He had the big gimp mask on.
It sort of rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's in that story. He's like the baddie in that story. So that's the boy in Torchwood. So Gwen has a chat. It's more, the police work is all being done. She's doing that. She's off.
Yeah.
Going and
what
doing
I
that.
liked about this, I think, is this one gave a little bit more. There was a few more characters that we got to know in terms of story. We were following other characters, a little bit more connection. We also got to know a little bit more about the other people there. So we learned a little bit more about Owen.
This is more of it's got more Owen this time. Yeah.
And Owen has now become less of a one-dimensional character to me.
Exactly. Well, because he touches that thing, doesn't he? And then he witnesses that girl being like murdered, which is quite, again, this is the adult side of it, isn't it? This bit. And that, where that underpass is, isn't it? That's shut off usually. Yeah. But that's really obvious near the stadium and everything, isn't it? And actually, when they're out, because they're trying to also find the teenager that had the alien tech in the first place. So while Gwen is trying to find the boy and work out what was going on with that, all the rest of the team are all out trying to find and go round everywhere, all around in Cardiff trying to find this guy. And they go along the river as you're walking sort of out of town along the stadium under that underpass. That's where the murder happens, under that underpass. That river bit, do you know what that reminds me of?
Go on.
This is a story. You must remember this at work. This is a work story. So at work, we had the gallery. We had the gallery, and that was like hired out, wasn't it, by artists? It's like changed every 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Yeah.
People come in and hire. And there was a guy that hired the gallery, really lovely, local artist who lived along the river there. But I don't remember. He had no phone or email or any way to connect.
Yes, I remember him.
So he would write. He came in once, but it was quite far from the other side of town. So we needed to work out how to get his artwork for the gallery. And it was literally by letter. We were like, we cannot wait to post a letter to find out from this artist. So I was like, well, I live near there. So he lived along that riverbank along there with those houses. So I had to take a letter to him on the way home from work and visit this artist along the river there.
It's still not the weirdest. It's still not the weirdest art story, but yes.
And past
Mine
letters.
is still my favourite art story of all time. Do you remember mine?
Where is this where you had to reply to that magazine complaint? No.
No, it was the women's month.
Oh God.
And all the work was in certain pieces because the church complained about the stuff. And I was like, they're not complaining about mine now. Not mine specifically, but the art piece was called Mine. And the artist had done a replica in clay of her vagina. And the church were complaining about all these other art pieces. I was like, but that one's fine.
Well, there was this, I remember there was this big chalk one of this sort of naked lady, and I had to cover that up for the kids every Sunday morning. But no, this big...
But all it was though, it was so abstract because it was just 2 long pieces of clay and then just one in the middle, wasn't it? It was really subtle, and then it was just called Mine.
That was on the wall for a long time. It was like a vervoid on the wall. It was, yeah. That was on the wall.
And then do you remember the big ones that we had, but were really detailed? So, and really, we had 3 in the cupboard that were we cannot put those on the wall. And the artist got really pissy about it. And we were like, no, you've seen our policy. We cannot put those on the wall.
But that was also, I remember when that was on the wall, the big fanny on the wall, that was when Songs of Praise came to film one morning and interview Kath and Josie Darby, and she was like, oh hi, and Josie Darby was presenting. I was like, oh my God, it's Josie Darby. And she was sitting there interviewing, and literally in between them was this huge fanny on the wall in the background. I was like, I don't think anyone's noticed this.
No one would know. know.
Yeah.
No one would know. But we knew. We knew.
Yeah.
It was so funny. That was the funniest one forever.
Anyway.
I can see it now. It's forever ingrained in my mind because all I remember was like the church complaining about all this stuff. And most of it was fine. I was like, do you know, whatever, it's art. Like if you've really got a problem with some boobs on a wall, like, and some kids laughing, whatever. And I was like, that you've got a problem with, but that you're fine with. It's even called mine. Like, it's brilliant.
Do you know what? I think I took a picture of it at the time. I'll have to go through my old photo. I've probably got a picture of it.
I definitely had a picture of it at the
Definitely
time.
got a picture.
I'm not on my phone anymore. I definitely took a picture of it. It is somewhere out there. It was.
I'll find a picture, everyone. Anyway, under the underpass where Owen does the thing, where that artist lives that I visited. He
doesn't live under the underpass, but yeah.
So it is a good one for Owen because then it sort of picks up the emotions, doesn't it? And you have the flashback. So he sort of has that from her point of view, which I think is interesting.
His apartment is very spare. He has no furniture.
It's sort of along the bay, isn't it? Somewhere
he's living in a office in the bay,
well,
with no furniture.
But then I think that's because they all sort of live at Torchwood, don't they? Sort of, it's implied that Jack doesn't live anywhere else. It's all that's their life.
It is sort of implied that he has a very beautifully scenic apartment with no furniture.
But it is good for Owen because Owen, because he's felt that, he gets obsessed and wants to solve the case because it's an unsolved murder.
Yeah.
And also
it gives us a good side to him as his character and person.
But it does as well, considering all we've seen him do is like spray people and sort of
want to have sex
with them. It does redeem that from the first episode, I think.
It does, yeah. It gives his character a little bit more dimension.
And he was a bit shouty towards Gwen last episode as well. Yeah, you definitely see a bit more of his character here.
But it's also done in such a way that he's not the centre of the story.
No, they're more of a team, aren't they now? Or starting to be.
It just sort of introduces more of his character that I was like, yeah, I like this and I can appreciate we're seeing that more.
Like, there is still a lot of Gwen, because I suppose she is like the main person in a way, isn't she? But we see a little bit of Tosh as well now.
For me, the most pointless scene, and I'm sure it'll be of use later, was we're now going to do a whole shooting scene.
Oh my God, that was awful. I've written that down. That was so weird, wasn't it? It was a bit like last week when Gwen sat down and printed out all of Karis's school reports. It's like, why do you suddenly need to do that?
It was like, we're having this like really, he's having it like, I'm shouting at you, Gwen, come with me. Now you're going to shoot some stuff. And not only that, we're going to make this into like a 5-minute montage where I'm touching you up and then you're just going to shoot some things at the end of it. We're going to be like, well done, now you've done that. And I was like, that hasn't come in of use at any point in this episode. Like, hopefully you never have to use it. Never came in use. I mean, maybe in the future, but what was the point of that for this episode?
Because it's not even
never used again.
It's not even like a gun comes into it at the end of the story.
No, exactly.
Or something.
It's never used again.
It's so weird, and he's really he's like touching her and like around her neck and stuff. And I suppose the only thing, because I completely got that. I was like, what is happening? Is this episode underrunning and they've just had to add in something else? You know, I suppose the only thing is there's that, again, that home life, Torchwood life thing where it's Reese sort of waiting for her and stuff. And then that's her sort of getting caught up and she's like not interested. And then she's like getting into it and doing the gun and being like, I'm learning this. And so she sort of forgets home for a minute. Doesn't she?
But she could have done other things. It just made it wasn't even. It didn't add anything.
No, I think it's to show about how sort of seductive Torchwood can be in the sort of the darker thing. You know, do you know what I mean? She's like not interested in the gun or whatever.
It just
she hasn't.
Cheap.
Yeah, it's not the best way of showing that, but I think that's what it was trying to do. That's the only way I can think. It just
felt really cheap. It felt like, and considering that you've got good writers on this, it felt like a really cheap writing fill-in. Like it felt like the sort of writing fill-in that you do early in your career.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I mean that, like, this, it feels like we've put writers on Torchwood that are, because this is BBC Three, and we're trying to and maybe they'll become Doctor Who writers, so let's put some writers on Torchwood to like get them to some of this stuff and get them used to like writing some things. and I'd expect that. But actually, you've got some really decent writers on this that actually write on the main show, and you'd expect better writing than what that was, because it led to nothing. There are much better ways of doing that. It was just shit. I was like, what? I was watching it and I was like, what's going on? And then by the end of it, I just thought, what was the point in that? When I look back, I thought, what was the point in that? It literally led to nothing.
And it goes on so long as well.
It goes on so long. It's like a good, I'd say 3 minutes, which is a lot of TV time. Like, TV moves quick, and it's quite a quick moving show.
There must have been underrunning as well, surely, because there's no point in that. And I don't like that relationship between like Jack and Gwen. He's a bit too touchy with her and stuff. I don't like.
I didn't mind that in terms of like they're trying to if it served a point.
Yeah, but it hasn't yet.
If good at the end, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm glad she learned how to use a gun.
Because then we go over to like Owen's investigation, and so he finds.
Oh, sorry. Also, last rant on the gun thing. Also, it kind of felt weird to have brought it up in the 3rd episode.
You'd think that would have been like last week or something instead.
Exactly. We'd have had this earlier on. It's already felt set up that she's been established for a while.
Yeah, I felt that at the beginning, like she's been there a little bit longer.
She's been there for a bit, and now they're still doing this sort of stuff. It should have been established like as part of your training or something, if that was the case. And it didn't feel that way. It just felt like this weird add-on thing. It wasn't set up right at all. It was weird. Right, that's the last I'm saying on it.
So Owen tracks down the guy. He does all his like investigations.
So, other rant. He tracks him down to Taft's Well, but they're not in Taft's Well.
Oh,
they're in Splot.
In Splot. I didn't pick that up that they said it's Taft's Well.
In the phone, it says Taft's Well.
Right.
The phone book, which is just outside Cardiff.
Yeah.
They're in Splot, because when he goes outside the house, because I've been like, where's that? I was like, that's in Cardiff. And then when he goes and chases that lad, he goes over the bridge in Splot.
Oh, that I recognise that bridge, yeah, with all the graffiti on it, yeah.
Yeah. So they're definitely in Splot. He comes out the house.
So Owen is really like charged up and he's like just goes around there, doesn't he? That's quite a good scene because he knows. And it's sort of building up. But then he sees Bernie, the teenager guy that the others are looking for. And then we get this chase sequence, which is quite well filmed.
Yeah, all through the houses of Splot.
Yep, all through Splot.
Which feels very Splot, actually. Like, as I don't know, when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this feels very Splot. You go from, like, chickens to, like, a trampoline and a paddling pool to, like, yeah, I was like, this feels a very... Splot scenario.
And he takes Bernie out for a drink in the pub. It's just like, so it's like, I've got him, I've caught him. Now we're just all going down the pub and having a chat. So then this teenager, he's found this ghost machine thing. This is the humour in Torchwood when it works well. It's those lines. It's like Owen saying the guy's in the phone book. And then this guy's like, oh, don't you want the other half of it then? And he's like, there's another half. And then, it's those kind of lines that I like in Torchwood that work really well. So then there's another half to this thing, whatever it is.
There's also, I guess, the only mystery to it that isn't answered that might come later is because they've obviously robbed it from someone.
Yeah, it's not really explained, is it? He's like, oh, there's some old guy had it. Yeah, we'll make a note of that. Actually, I think there might be something there.
To me, I'd be like, well, what else has he got? The sort of investigation me would be like, well, if they got this from just like a shoebox in this guy's house, what else is there? Or where did he get it?
But then I suppose Jack explains it's just like bits falling through the crack, isn't it? It's just these random things are picking up, people find stuff and just this alien, just random bits of these. No one knows where it's from. It's no explanation. It's just stuff washing up. And then again, Gwen presses the button again. Of course she does. Of course it's Gwen. I feel like that's going to be her thing. If there's an alien bit of tech to press accidentally, it's going to be Gwen that does it.
Of course.
I feel like that's going to be a regular thing. So then this is interesting where we get that, it's not great effect, where we see the other Gwen and the blood and everything. So it's giving like a future reading because the other half does the future. I really like that. And then I also like how it all ties up because that Bernie guy has been round to the old guy's house and has tried to blackmail him and stuff. So it all ties up because it could have easily quite been like just separate stories going on, but actually they're all quite like interlinked, aren't they? And it turns out that, the old guy is played by Gareth Thomas. So he's Blake in Blake 7, which I'm sure I've mentioned Blake 7 before. So he's like quite a good actor. He's done Big Finish, Doctor Who stories as well.
You
So
said,
it's
yeah.
great to see Black. He's what?
You said, yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you said he's dead. when he is. So I was like, oh, how did you know? Anyway. When did I say?
You said he's been in Doctor Who. You said he'd been in
Blake Seven.
In Thingies. We went. I was like,
oh no. This is Murderer Guy. I'm talking. The boy as an old man was in Caves of Androzani.
Oh,
this is second old man. Sorry, Murderer.
Oh, sorry. Right,
Murderer Guy.
The Murderer Guy. Sorry.
Yeah, Murderer Guy.
You didn't mention it.
I like, how it all turns out, and then he goes round. And did you expect what was going to happen? Happened.
Well, yes and no. I thought there'd be a bit of... You start piecing it together.
Because...
I didn't expect that. I thought Owen would do it, because that's what you're expecting. I didn't expect that exact end.
Because it sets up that Gwen says, oh, Owen was holding the knife.
Yeah.
And then you're like, is he capable of doing that? But then you see how annoyed and angry and emotionally charged he is. And these are Torchwood characters, not Doctor Who characters. So would they do that kind of thing? I like how it what's the word?
Misleads you.
Misleads you, yeah. Misleads you. When Gwen's holding the knife, like, he runs onto it, I was like, oh no. Like, that is a really horrible... You're not expecting that, are you? You're not expecting that to happen. Yeah.
Well, it's all quite quick as well.
Yeah, it just all sort of happens like that, doesn't it? I missed out the bit. So actually, going back to the gun bit again, in a way. Sorry. If we were doing Doskers on Torchwood, the gun bit would be going down as worst moment.
For sure, yeah.
Definitely. That's the contrast. The gun bit, and then when Gwen goes home and uses the machine and sees all her life with Reese, compared to then her having that conversation with Jack, and he's like, well, I don't have any kind of life. I'm just sort of here living underground in this thing. But I think it's all mixed in that. That bit where
she took the thing home, naughty. But like that bit where she took the thing home and we saw all those moments, I quite like that. That is sort of a filler in itself. But I really liked it.
But that's going somewhere.
In fact, I'd have had one or two more of those.
Yeah, but that's going somewhere because she's already had the argument with Reese on the phone. And then she's saying to all the others, when do you leave here? What else do you do and stuff? That all ties in nicely, apart from the gun stuff. But overall...
It's a good 8 out of 10. Like, I was really struggling a bit with Torchwood, and it just sort of restored me a little bit.
Because last week you were like, you're getting a bit bored, even though it was like a sort of not funny episode, but it was different. This feels like, again, the tone is different to the other two already. This is my favourite type of tone. If it was, like this sort of each week, that would be a good tone to settle on, I think. Because it's dark enough, it's got those themes, it's not, all the sort of murder and everything there. It's got the bit of alien stuff, but it's not too weird and alien. It's more sort of believable and that. And then you've got a bit more of the characters. I feel like it's got the mix right. And yeah, this might have been sort of one to start. You could have had this last week, actually, to get into it.
But then it wouldn't have followed the Russell T Davies formula.
So it's safe to say it's like our favourite so far. Yeah,
this sort of like, I was really not looking forward to watching it. And I was thinking, oh, God, it's...
Oh, really? Do you not just...
Yeah, I was really struggling. I just really wasn't looking forward to watching it. And actually, I did really enjoy this one.
Okay, good. Okay, hopefully we get some more good ones, right?
Yeah. And then, obviously, you see the clip for next week, and that looks at least why it's got some things going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, next week is called Cyber Woman. So, when you're, like, struggling watching Doctor Who's, is it the same sort of struggle? Is it worse for Torchwood?
Worse.
Because it's going to be, like...
Yeah, but I find when I struggle watching Doctor Who, I can know the characters and stuff, but the story can be poor. Whereas with this, sometimes I don't find Gwen very strong. To some extent, I don't feel like Gwen deserves to be there in Torchwood. So whereas like a companion being on with the Doctor, there's nothing you need to do for that job. You don't need to be qualified to do that job or anything like that. Whereas Torchwood is sort of set up as an institution It's not like we're going on an adventure or anything like
Yeah,
that.
well, when you think about it, it's weird that Gwen just suddenly got this job in Torchwood.
Exactly. And I kind of also think like, well, what does she bring to the team? And I still haven't really figured that out. Other than she's like new. And she's like this new person on the team. And obviously she was a police officer and she brings that. But there's a part of me that thinks I can't see what she brings that's any different to what any other person could be bringing. Because you've got some really clever people in there. And for me, I'm like, well, she's just Gwen.
Yeah, and so I suppose you haven't connected with the other characters. You don't know them well enough.
So there's no one to be like in Jack, I think is done in the right amount, because I think if you had too much of him, I think it would you wouldn't have the mystery of who Jack is. Jack's given just the right amount. Jack's the most well-known character we have in it, but we've got just enough of him because there is an air of mystery with the questions. Like, we know bits about him, but there's still a lot. Why is he there? What's he doing? What is his purpose? All that sort of stuff. You kind of want to hold that card back a lot with Jack so he can come in and be useful. If you have him all the time, and I guess there's still parts of me that I'm just like, I can't see what Gwen brings.
Because, I mean, yeah.
He also, like you say, like, if I was given an alien device that was lighting up, I don't think I'd be touching it and pushing buttons on it.
But I suppose she's got to be the new Doctor Who companion that makes the mistake.
Exactly. And I think, but this is where it's different. This is where I find it a bit harder because I can accept it more in Doctor Who when a companion does stuff like that because it's not a job. They're on an adventure. They're on a journey. It's part of learning. And generally, companions grow and learn and develop and change. But this is like their job. And I think that's where I find it a bit more frustrating when Gwen does certain things or makes certain decisions. And I'm like, well, why have you done that? You're not friends with them. What do you expect of? I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh, but it is it's a workplace. It's not an adventure.
It's a workplace, not an adventure. That's it. Yeah.
So it will be slightly different. Not to say that they can't have fun. I mean, gosh, we had a lot of fun. But it is different.
But then they don't have. That's the thing with these characters.
And I can be useless, but can you imagine if I was just constantly useless in work? You'd be like, fucking shitwad. Like, I'd be a pain in your ass. Right? But at least, like, I got on with my job and did stuff, and then we could sit and moan about everything. Because it's a workplace. You want someone that's competent and gets on with things when you work somewhere. You don't want someone that's, like, bringing things down and causing more problems.
But she is bringing. I suppose the only thing she is bringing is that humanity to these people that feel like they've been obsessed with all the alien stuff and they're just down there and they haven't got out into the world as much because they've just looking inward.
Completely. But I feel anyone could have done that at this point, and that's why I'm struggling. I think to like connect with. I don't know what Gwen brings that's any different to what anyone else could have brought.
It could have been PC Andy that is the new Torchwood member.
Oh, completely. He might have been a bit more like, oh, what's going on here? But like, she's just a bit nosier.
Well, it's still quite early days. It is only episode 3. Give it a bit more time.
But I think that's the difference. I feel like with the characters in Doctor Who, I knew them more. So I was like, the story can be bad and I can struggle with that. Like, I can have a terrible story, but the characters are the characters and you know them. And you can go with them. Whereas I don't even feel like I'm connected with these characters.
It's just a slow burn because there's so many of them to get used to.
Exactly. So like last week when you were like, well, who's your pet? I was like, I can't even remember some of their names.
I think we'll a couple more episodes
but this was a good week because I felt like I got to know them a bit more.
Yeah, it's a good one. Great. There we go. That goes for shame. We've covered the main points.
We covered it. It's done.
We covered it. It was a good one. And yeah, that underpass is there if you ever do a visit, a locations visit, anyone, you can go onto that underpass.
You can go and see where a pretend murder happened.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so it's Cyberwoman next week. So let's see how the tone shifts again. Actually, I'm looking forward. I haven't seen that one for ages. It's going to be fun to watch. Right. Thanks, everyone. Hope you're doing well with your Torchwood watches as well. I know our Patreon, Joe, has been watching Torchwood for the first time, he said in the chat. So Yeah.
A few first-time Torchwood watchers, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Yeah, so I hope you're all getting on as well. In the meantime, you can follow us on the social medias, which I haven't updated for a while again, at 2WatchWho, and you can follow us on Patreon at 2WatchWho. And we will see you next week, everybody, for Cyber Woman. I don't know why I said it.
That happened.
Watch who?
Bye.
Bye.